easiest way is to split this up. So we're going to say 4t minus 4 is less than or equal to 8t minus 16. And then let's get all our t's together. So we'll minus 8t from both sides. And we'll get negative 4t minus 4 is less than or equal to negative 16. Don't forget your negative signs when you do this. So then we'll add 4 to both sides. And we'll get negative 4t minus is less than or equal to negative 12. Divide by negative 4. Remember, since we have a negative, we'll flip it. So t is greater than or equal to 3. And then we'll write our second part. Our second part, I'm going to go back to my first inequality. So I'm going to have kind of an overlap here of what I write. But I'm going to say, and 8t minus 16 is less than or equal to 7t minus 7. Now we're just going to solve that like we normally do. Minus 7t from both sides. So then we get t minus 16 is less than or equal to negative 7. You add 16 to both sides. T is less than or equal to 9. It's an and problem. So we're going to write it in set builder notation. So t such that, and we'll say t is greater than or equal to 3. And t is less than or equal to 9. That's set builder notation. You could write it in between if you want to. T such that 3 is less than or equal to t, which is less than or equal to 9, because it's in between those two with an and. But either one is right. And I like the first one because it doesn't require you to do any extra work. But you might see like a multiple choice. You might see the second one as a multiple choice. Now on question 8, notice they're going in opposite directions. So that's an or problem. It says write it as a compound inequality. We're not doing any, absolute value of anything. So we're just going to say t is less than negative 1, or t is greater than or equal to 3. And that's our answer. Now we're going to do some comparing and contrasting of these two inequalities. First off, let's solve and graph each inequality. So in the first one, I'll subtract 1 from both sides. So I'll write my work down here. So inequality 1. I'm going to have h is greater than negative 3. And divide by 3. H is less than 1. I'll graph this on the same number line, negative 3 and 1. And since it's in between, I'll shade in between them. Now let's do inequality 2, kind of the same way. So I'll divide the first one by 2. Negative 4 minus 1 is not negative 3, is it? Sorry about that. Negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. Easy enough to fix. We'll just put a negative 5 there. Okay. So if I divide by 2 in the second one, I get h. I already got my h. I don't know why I wrote that again. Is less than negative 5. Or we'll add 2 over here, and we'll get h is greater than 1. It's an OR problem, so I got -5 or 1. Open circle and -5, we're going to go to the left. 0 will go to the right. Now let's go through this one. Each graph contains all the points not included in the other except for the endpoints. Well, that's exactly what it is, isn't it? I wanted to show that here. So notice the first one, I got everything to the left and to the right of 0. The middle one, I've got everything between -5 and 0. So that is exactly what the graph describes. The endpoints are not the same. The endpoints are the same because notice they're both -5 and 1. So don't check that one. The graphs are not exactly the same. The two graphs do not include -5 and 1 because I said 1, but I put 0 there, didn't I? That's supposed to be 1. Okay, the two graphs do not include -5 and 1, so we'll include that one. And then the two graphs have the same endpoints. They both have -5 and 1. So you should have selected the first one and the last two on that problem.